Plus Studio, where college football meets the all lifestyle.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is
the Out of Bounds Show with Bo Bounds, streaming around the world live at the Out of Bounds radio app and on your radio at ESPN 105.9.
Where are you?
The Zone.
Oh, what a crazy weekend. What happened in Starkville on Saturday night with the delay and throwing people out left and right. Oh, goodness. And then John Calipari leaving Kentucky to go to Arkansas. That's really, really crazy pills. So we are the Out of Bounds Show. ESPN 105.9 The Zone. And we are brought to you by Spring Street Cigars in Starkville. And I was there on Friday. It's a wonderful place to, there's a big group there too, to enjoy a premium cigar. Good morning. Welcome in ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Justin Parker, Hail State pitching coach, coming up at 9:30. The Stella Artois caller line is 601-707-3750. Twitter handle at BoBounds. And the Ag Up Equipment text line is 601-885-3776. Looks like Chris Jan's staying in Starkville because I don't know where he'd go right now. Now, we could have another job opening in, 10 minutes or 24 hours. Kentucky is open. I don't know what they'll do. Scott Drew. I don't think Danny Hurley's leaving UConn. Billy Donovan. Nate Oates. That is a massive buyout. But, is it? Kentucky debated paying out $33+ million to fire Calipari. Would they pay Bama $18 million to take Nate Oates? Then you got Alabama open. Then you may have to, if you're MSU or Ole Miss, you may have to sweat it out again with Jans and Beard. Obviously, all kinds of rumors and stuff going on with first Arkansas and Beard, but then Arkansas and Jans. And then Calipari decides to take this job. Yeah, he needed to get out. 15 years is a long time. I think it works out for Calipari and for Big Blue Nation and Mitch Barnhart. We'll see what they do. If they could land Bill, I don't know if Billy Donovan would want to get into all this he's at the Chicago Bulls and he doesn't have to deal with, again, street peddlers, agents, and NIL. Billy D gets the coach who the front office gives him. I mean, that's how it is in sports. Here's your, whatever it is, 13-man roster in the NBA. As good as it is to travel in the SEC, NBA has everything you need. Everything you need.
Would that be is it a lateral move? I'm not taking that move. I'm not going from coaching the Bulls.
No, it's a step down.
It's a step down.
Yeah.
The
Bulls are,
they're the Bulls.
Right. Any of them, really. There may be a few. Billy Donovan's 58.
58. He'll be 59 in about a month and a half. So,
but he looks like he's 50.
I'm going to assume he's taking care of himself.
He is really taking care of himself. He is one hell of a basketball coach.
What's that contract look like?
What is he? Games? They're just kind of, he hasn't made the playoffs but once. And that's
Bulls
not all
was,
on him.
No.
They don't have.
No, they're pretty bad.
Yeah.
Very bad, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe he decides. Oh, man, Oklahoma City, he went every year. He just lost in the first round every year but one, and he went to the conference finals.
Westbrook and Durant.
But he was losing those, he lost those eventually. Chicago hasn't been good since Jordan, really. I think they had that Joakim Noah and whoever.
Ugh.
Maybe they got into the
Wall dang.
Yeah. But anyway, Billy D's awesome. I don't know if that's what he wants to do, but they would love him. To me, that's the best hire out there. And then Scott Drew, do you want to pay that much for Nate Oates? I don't see Danny Hurley leaving. Why would he leave the Northeast and UConn when he's winning? Even
Especially
though it's
if he
Kentucky.
wins, yeah, especially if he wins tonight.
Right.
Absolutely not.
I mean, he's back-to-back. His he's a Northeastern guy, hardcore. His dad's a high school legend up there. We've talked about that. And y'all know who his brother is, Bobby Hurley. Did he get bounced at Arizona State, or did he hang on? I think he held on because the buyout was. They don't have any money. I mean, they have money. That's not the right. I mean, I've been on that camp. There's a ton of money in Tempe and Phoenix Metro. They just don't. I guess they spend it on other stuff, academics or stuff we can't fathom. Yeah. What now?
He's still there.
Okay, yeah. I didn't think they were going to pay that big of a buyout.
What does Billy D's contract look like?
See, I don't know. I mean, he's getting paid a ton of money.
Right. I mean, you're going to have to pay him, what, 8?
Oh, yeah. They were paying Cal right at 10, I think.
Okay.
I think Cal takes a little bit of a, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, look, even if he's taking a little less to go to Arkansas, they have incentivized the contract to where if he wins, he'll get it back. And Cal doesn't pay for anything and, flies around on private jets. He's nobody's feeling sorry for his pasta and very, very premium, hard to find wine regime that Calipari gets to do. So Billy D would be unbelievable. But man, once you've been in the NBA, would you come back? I don't know.
Especially when you've
But man, he would win so big there.
UK, yeah.
I wonder what Rick Pitino's I mean, he's going to do what he wants, but he and Pitino are close. Pitino was just on a podcast within the last couple of weeks talking about, he calls him Billy the Kid. We all remember that. Right. Well, not all of us, y'all don't. But I remember that. And again, I say this all the time. I was at the 1987 Final Four when Billy Donovan was Rick Pitino's shooting guard for Providence. And then he would go on to become the 2-time national championship coach for the Florida Gators, back-to-back. And UConn will have to win tonight to break the streak of, not having back-to-back since 06-07 or whenever that was. Scott Drew at Baylor, I mean, he's good. He's good.
That ain't going to do it for Big Blue.
I don't know if it will or not.
I don't think it appeases the fan base. Now, Billy D, the campus gets set on fire. They'll love that. How do you not love that?
Who?
Nate Oates or Billy D. Either one of those, you're setting the place ablaze.
No doubt.
It's a
They'll
party.
go crazy over Billy Donovan or Nate Oates.
Absurd.
Did you see the comment sections last night about when Coach Cal left? A lot of people thought they're getting Jay Wainwright. They're going to get him
Jay Wright?
Out of retirement, come to Kentucky.
Well,
he looks too comfortable on set. He's great. Every time I see him anywhere, he looks just comfortable.
That would be a grand slam hire if they rolled out $9 million to Jay Wright. He won 2 national titles at Villanova. And while I know they love it, and that is basketball country, and I know that they have the population to net out. It only takes a few players. I mean, there's advantages there, even though they're a small school in Philly. If they hire Jay Wright, grand slam. Maybe he takes it.
I mean, that's. If you're going to take
talking about basketball royalty.
Yeah. If you're coming out of retirement, there's one job you're coming for.
But he may have already decided, I like this. I made money. I'm doing TV. I'm good. Goodness gracious. What does White Denzel say? And hire Rick Pitino back.
I'm with it. Get him there.
Justin Parker, Hell State pitching coach at 9:30 on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. Yeah, I think one of the questions you have to ask with Billy Donovan to Kentucky is he tired of losing? And knowing that you have to have a couple of stars in the NBA and, what are the odds? He's in Chicago. They're not winning. You got to have players. I mean, he's an excellent coach. Now, could he go it back? There's such a gap between college and the NBA. But look, he was there for a long time and he knows how to teach. I think the NIL thing he could pick up on in 30 minutes, 10 minutes. They have plenty of money. This will motivate Kentucky boosters. To me, he's the bigger name than anybody else. He's bigger than Danny Hurley. And look, give Hurley credit, but nobody cares about you. I can't believe I'm saying that. UConn could go back to back and nobody cares. Iowa, South Carolina, and women's hoops is bigger. John Calipari's dominating college basketball. Bill Self could leave Kansas and this wouldn't be happening. It's just Cal, his presence, his brand, his antics, the fact that he's polarizing. He's had Final Fours vacated. He's won big at Kentucky. He was the one and done dude. All that. He's fascinating to me. I think he's great for sports media and sports talk radio, and all this will be podcasts later. And other than the Mississippi State baseball nuttiness, this has been a lot of fun for me. I love it. I mean, it's and he's staying in the league.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he left a program that's better and went to a lesser program, but Billy Donovan, Mitch Barnhart would just mic drop.
Oh.
He's already done a great job. He's hired some good football coaches for Kentucky. And you can say what you want about Cal. He was a great hire for Kentucky. They had just gotten out of the Tubby Smith, Billy Gillespie deal. Tubby was just never, he just kind of slodged along. And then Gillespie was way over his skis. I mean, we talk about Matt Luke and Joe Moorhead being over their skis. I'm trying to think. Rick Ray being over his skis at Mississippi State. I'm just trying to bring it local. Calipari was a big-time hire. He drove the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, he got them back going. There's no telling. You'll never be able to quantify it, but how the impact he had on fundraising academically the last 15 years. But the town, y'all, I've told y'all it's my favorite road trip in the SEC. I'm going back this summer. I want to go back. I got invited to the Derby, and I can't, which is not cool.
I'll take your place.
I know you will.
Be
you'd be a train wreck. Good grief. It'd be fun to watch.
Yeah.
As long as you came out of there okay.
From afar.
You in the Brown Hotel on Friday afternoon in downtown Louisville at 5:00 at their bourbon bar with Tom Brady to your right and, I don't know, name some
I'm not making it out of that weekend.
Unbelievable musician or something to your left, and all the beautiful, people. That would be illegal. But Lexington is the best road trip in the SEC because of the bourbon, the horses, and the town. It's not close.
You've stood beside that for a while.
Yeah,
now.
Cullen, it's not close.
Okay.
It's not. People can make up stuff and whatever and tell themselves this, that, and the other, and we have a lot of that. But Lexington it's just bourbon, Keeneland, culinary. The downtown is just big enough, just small enough. Man, if I'm Billy Donovan, you're probably tired of losing in the NBA.
Gotta be.
Go be a king of the bluegrass,
really?
of bourbon, of horses, and know that you're going to get players, and you are a hell of a you're a better basketball coach than Calipari. You're not a bigger
Ooh.
brand and
come on.
And I mean, Billy D's big.
He's big.
And he's got, I know another national championship and so on. He's not as flamboyant.
Right.
Okay. I mean, he's got some moxie and some charisma to him, and he looks like New York. Like he looks, not looks like Patino's son, but reminds you of Patino, right? He came in the league, had the slick back hair. He wears impeccable clothes, all of that. Speaking of, Finch and Kelly in Oxford, right there on the square. We'll be there Thursday, Patrick Kelly's place. Custom jackets, shirts, pants. He'll size you all up, get you what you need. And then he's got, gear and fun merch and Ole Miss and other labels in there. But we'll be there. I'll be there Wednesday night and then Thursday morning from 10 a.m. to noon at Finch and Kelly as they get ready for the Grove Bowl. This is Lane's, I think, fifth. Yeah, it was fifth year. Although, no, I guess Lane and Leach didn't have the Grove Bowl the first year because of COVID. Y'all know what I mean. Kind of his fifth Grove Bowl. But Billy Donovan, who dresses better, Billy D or Rick Pitino? Damn, those guys love some threads, don't they?
They both wear it well. Looks good on them. They're confident. It's a look good, feel good, play good.
Yeah. Oh, I love it, man. Pitino set the world on fire in the 90s when he took the Kentucky job. He was already dressing like $1 million with the New York Knicks, but we got to see more in the man when he would walk in that 92, 94, 96 SEC tournament, or if he walked in the hump. Again, I've said this before, you felt like a star was in the building, and he knew it. Donovan will give you a little bit of that, but he doesn't have quite the pizzazz as Pitino and Cal, but he's got plenty. And they will gravitate to him, and it'll be on in Kentucky, I promise. And again, Billy D can, he's not Jimbo Fisher like Cal. He can coach. Now, we'll see if Cal can pivot. He's going to have players at Arkansas. Will you have quite as much talent as I don't even think you have to. I mean, there's like all these little tiers. I mean, you could have 80% of the talent that Kentucky has and still position yourself to win the national championship the way college basketball is structured. And then back to Jan's. And again, good morning. Welcome in. We are the Out of Bounds Show, brought to you by the amazing Boar's Head premium meats, cheeses, and hummus. Boar's Head, compromise elsewhere. You can find it at your local grocery store. Boar's Head, compromise elsewhere. Game day sandwiches and sliders, game day pizzas, and, of course, game day nachos powered by Boar's Head. We'll have Justin Parker coming up next, Hail State pitching coach, on the show. Jans, he's staying unless something else crazy happens. I guess they'll get the contract figured out today. And then what you want is you want to keep Josh Hubbard. You want to keep Cam Matthews. You want to keep this Penn State guy, Kanye, who's almost 17 points a game for Penn State. You needed another scorer to help Hub. And then Sean Jones has to get better. A lot of that's on Jans and his staff, though, too. I don't think Jans is going to do it, but he needs to move off of one of his assistants and hire an offensive coordinator. But I don't see that happening. And that's the difference between coaches going from one level to the next level.
Can we get the very early prediction? The
Of what?
Bounds gut guess of where the Kentucky Wildcats
Billy
are.
Donovan.
Is it Billy D?
I'm going Billy D.
I love it. I'm with it.
I mean, he's under 500, and he's been 500 with the Chicago Bulls. He's been a winner his whole life.
Right.
He's got to be tired of losing, even though the NBA life is amazing. It's amazing.
They are missing one of their star players, but regardless, they're still 500 the past 5 years.
Yeah. Billy D to UK.
What a hire that would be.
I need it. It's good for my business. I'm selfish. We are the Out of Bounds Show. Justin Parker, Hail State pitching coach, next. All right, good morning. Welcome in. Out of Bounds, ESPN 1059 The Zone. I'm your host, Bo Bounds. Wild weekend. I was in Starkville for game one and game two. Yesterday was nuts. I watched it on TV. Mississippi State comes away, takes 2 of 3 from the Georgia Bulldogs, and hell of a series win for Lamonis and just our next guest, Justin Parker and Gotro and the team. And they're trending in the right direction. But some wild stuff over the weekend. And then, of course, we got the John Calipari news that we've been hitting throughout the morning. Our guests join us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. And the show is driven by your next Ford Expedition or Ford Explorer. Mack Hike Ford, I-55 North in Jackson. We welcome in Hail State pitching coach Justin Parker to the show. Coach, good morning. How you doing?
Good. I'm doing great, Bo. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. Your guys are throwing well. I tell you what, Steven and Gerangelo, Friday and Saturday, they pitched some good ball for you.
Yeah, they're doing a great job. I think they feed off each other. And we're far from perfect as a staff, but the guys are getting better. They're growing, they're learning, they're working, and they're tough. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing is just, this league is tough. You said it on the intro, just how heavy the weekend was, and you got to have the ability to get off the mat, and those guys are making big pitches and hanging in there.
They are. And Georgia's lineup, good grief, as far as at the plate, that may be the best hitting lineup in the league. Justin?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the deepest that we've seen. I mean, they have the ability to go 12 or 13 guys deep and, of course, play the matchups left, right-handed. They got some platoon guys at the bottom, and they've all played a lot of baseball. It seems like everybody we play this year, 1 through 9, you're dealing with 22-year-old men. And, I really had a lot of respect for them coming in. They lost a lot of new guys, a lot of transfers, which seems like a theme around the league. I think just coming off of even the A&M weekend, their 3 through 7 hole there was all portal transfers. So, very deep group lineup, very, very talented, very physical, very dangerous there with Georgia.
All right, tell me about, I got to tell you who my favorite guy is. This guy, Cam Schulke. This dude, I mean, what has he got? Like 44 arm slots he throws from? Yeah. I'm loving it. And he's a little tiger bulldog on the mound, too, and he's a young dude, but he's really been productive for you in Lamonis. Tell me about him.
Yeah, it's just his makeup, man. His character, his makeup, who he is, his belief in himself, his toughness. The uniqueness in the looks create issues. That's been, kind of his calling card. He's a national champ at the junior college level. He's a winner. He loves having the ball. He's also very resilient and takes the ball. He just because of the slots, he recovers better. And we've used him, of course, with the amount of appearances that he's had. He bounces back quick. So, it's a guy that kind of one of our heartbeat type guys on our pitching staff just because of who he is and what he does.
Justin Parker, Hail State pitching coach, has done an unbelievable job this year, and this group is pitching really well, production and so on, and 6-6 coming out of 12 games with 18 to go and trending in the right direction. He joins us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. Okay, walk me through. I don't want you to get bogged down in what happened Saturday night, but you lose it because that's not what I want to do to you. But you lose the game, and so the players have to be like, damn, that was one that was there. And so you get up on Sunday, you're getting all your guys ready. You got Dome, and he's out there for a little time, and you have to pivot. Your whole thing. You're sitting here thinking, how are we going to do this game? What was your thinking as far as, you get down 5-0, Domes can't go? Where were you right about then in that second or third inning, Justin?
It's just next man up. I mean, we know every one of them. Whether you're playing Georgia at home or whoever on the road, every one of them's hard to get. Every SEC win is worth its weight in gold, and every one of them is going to be a battle. We know that. we knew it was going to be an all hands on deck day. Dome with his best start would have probably given us 2 or 3 innings. That was the game plan. So we knew that was going to be kind of the way that we approached yesterday, and it was going to have to be just guys go out there and make pitches. It was a very hitter friendly day with the wind blowing out, and most day games in the league are, and just was going to be about guys making pitches. I mean, it was kind of what we expected going in.
Okay. Auger, I mean, I thought he had a hell of a performance. He got through some adversity. He gets you to the end of the game to hand it off to Davis. Talk about how, what he did yesterday and how excited you were with his performance.
Yeah, he was incredible. And we've moved him in and out of different roles all year. He's had, the late game role at times. He's closed games at times. He's set up games at times. We haven't really stretched him out much like we did yesterday. And I thought he was incredible. He got his third pitch going. I thought that was a game changer. Got a changeup going. He's been mostly fastball slider, but just his poise, his command, ability to just attack the strike zone, get the leadoff hitter out, just manage innings. His experience showed, in just that he was able to navigate. A couple plays defensively here or there where we probably would have liked to have him made, but he pitched through it. He didn't need it. He kept making pitches, and his experience, I think, was one of the things when you look at him able to do that and keep his poise, keep his focus. Keep his intensity over the course of 3+ innings. I think he was tremendous.
Yeah, Brooks Auger with a heck of a game yesterday. So, you don't ever know, but he's gone through a lot with injury. This could be a breakout appearance for him, right?
Yeah, I definitely think so. And like I said, we've juggled his roles and really kind of with the whole crew. Especially after, you lose Dome, like we lost him for a month, and we'll see kind of what happens with him here in the next couple of days and so on. I don't know yet, what's next for him. I don't think it was crazy bad, but we'll see. And just we've had to ask, different things out of different guys at times, and we're still trying to find kind of that best rotation of guys that can do, when you call on them, what you're going to get, and the role that you're asking them to do suits their skill set. And, we're still searching for that. I think every week we're getting closer to finding the right mix and putting the guys in the right spots. And this, of course, yesterday looked like, something for Brooks that he was very comfortable doing. And man, we needed it. We needed that at that moment. And he was, like I said, he was incredible.
So Auger was awesome, and then so was Tyler Davis. Was there any doubt you were going from Auger to Tyler Davis, or how did that play out?
Well, we just kind of knew, and I think if you look back at yesterday, they did it 2 or 3 times. When you have to go to the pin early, you're trying to manage pitch counts and rolls and getting length out of guys that maybe are a little bit outside of what you've asked them to do. I think they probably, looking back, they left in a guy or two too long, and he'd go out for that extra inning, and then it would, he'd find out he had lost it, and then you'd go to the pen. And we were just, hypersensitive of paying attention to that with Auger being the pitch count a little higher than what he's been built up to do. So we knew Tyler Davis was going to be the next guy. We knew he's got experience coming in a dirty inning anyway. So if we had to go to a guy, Ligon was also back there, for a clean inning potentially. And for us, Tyler's just been so good. I mean, outside of the outing he had at Florida, which was kind of a blip on the radar for him this year. He had thrown 2 big innings on to close out a game that midweek at Sanford, and he had the rough outing on Friday night at Florida. Other than that, he's been great, and we just felt like the matchup, just his stuff matched up really well with their lineup, and bringing him in there and having him go. I didn't know we were going to get him to finish the game, but I thought at that time we needed to get Auger and Davis at least through the 8th, and he was terrific too.
He is Justin Parker, Hail State pitching coach on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. They take 2 of 3 from Georgia in what was a wild series, and he had some dudes step up over the weekend, and on Sunday, Auger and Davis were outstanding. Have you? Okay, I gotta go back to Cam Schuelke for one more. All right, so are you still, just because you need some other guys to start to perform, he could be set up or he could be the closer? Just kind of how the game unfold dictates that, Justin?
Yeah, I just think with his versatility, with how tough he is, he's been the kind of the fireman. Whenever you need to put out a fire, and sometimes those games, like the save situation, ends up happening in the 6th or 7th inning where you need that hold in that specific time. You're at that spot in the lineup. Sometimes that happens in the 7th. Sometimes it happens in the 9th. And, for us, I don't look at any of them specifically like this is our closer. I think we're just matching up makeup and skill sets with certain spots and certain situations and trying to get each guy out there to be able to be put in a position to have success. And that's kind of the way I've viewed Cam is, he's so low maintenance with how quick he can get ready. He's so low maintenance in how he bounces back and how vibrant his arm ends up recovering. And so he's been put in a lot of different roles. Sometimes it's hard because of how good he is to hold him, to say, hey, we're going to hold him to a traditional, more conventional save opportunity. Just because we've seen him also be able to give us length. So,
right.
It's his versatility is his biggest strength.
Yeah, that dude's awesome. Justin Parker on the Out of Bounds show. Okay, so all right. How close do you think Bradley Lofton is to giving you some innings?
Yeah, I mean, it changes by the day. There are days where I'm like, man, this guy's one of the best left-handers in the SEC. And then there are some days where, just from a health standpoint and a mental standpoint, he's just not quite there yet. And we haven't been able to get him out as much as I wanted to on the midweek to get him prepared for that. And you really don't want to rush him too much. So I think he's close. The stuff's all there. There's no shortage of stuff. It's just about the experience and getting him going from a confidence standpoint.
Okay. And how do you feel about Pico right now?
Pico probably had his best week or week and a half of work that I've seen. So I'm really confident. I think he's close to really turning the corner and making a big impact for us. Those first couple outings are hard after Tommy John. You got the nerves going. You have all the expectation. You have maybe a little bit of anxiety and apprehension. And I thought he handled it pretty good. He's a mean kid out there on the mound. He's the nicest kid we have off the field, but he gets out there on the mound and he's mean. And I hope to be able to get him in the kind of the crew here soon. But we took last week off of him throwing midweek just because we had like such a heavy workload week and felt like we had some stuff that he really needed to iron out, on his side work. And I think he's really close. I like where he's headed.
Okay. All right, Justin Parker, Hell State pitching coach on the Out of Bounds show. Hell of a hire by Lamonis last summer. So, Johnny Long, he's another one of my favorites. I think my favorite are Cam Schulke, Mershawn, and Johnny Long. So, tell me, this guy is an absolute dirtbag. Love his mentality, his grit. I mean, Ross Highfield has tremendous talent. Everybody's hoping he comes back next year and has a big year. But what has Johnny Long brought to your pitching staff and the team the last couple of months, Justin?
Well, Johnny's a savage. I mean, just everything he does is team first. The play in that position, it's so taxing on you mentally to be able to flush at bats and move on. And Johnny's such a team-first guy. He understands the responsibility of catching and catching at a high level, catching a good pitching staff. He understands the mentality that he has to have to be there for those guys. He understands, his role in the team. And I think some of John, maybe one of Johnny Long's biggest strengths, and this is no disrespect to him, is just his self-awareness. He knows exactly who he is as a player, and he knows exactly who he's not. And he tries to be the best version of himself where, the at-bats, the selflessness, the hit by pitches, the grinder mentality. I love everything about him. Like I said, he's a savage. Like, he's the guy that I enjoy going to war with every time out. So he's meant the world to us, just because for me specifically, like, I put such a premium on that position and the relationship with that position. I'm in his headset every game. I'm using him for feedback, and then of course, like, there's like he's he's part of the battery. And so the success that the pitching staff has. I mean, I think I can't remember who it was. I think maybe it was Durangelo a couple weeks ago, or maybe it was this past week. Coach Lamonis does the player of the game post game and after every win, and it was Durangelo, and Durangelo passed the shirt over to Johnny Long just because of how much respect.
Yeah.
So everyone respects him. He's our heartbeat, just as far as how he shows up, the toughness, the grit, the mentality, the experience, all of it, man. You're spot on. He's one of a kind.
Yeah, he's become a crowd favorite overnight. And I like what you said, he knows who he is and what he is. Like he's older, I guess, philosophical. Thought he had a great interview after the loss last week, explaining the approach on the midweek. And he kind of seems like he's mature beyond his years. We're visiting with Justin Parker on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. They got a midweek game against UAB, and then they go to Ole Miss. So, Justin, we had you on last year, and you talked about South Carolina had played in Starkville, and you were familiar with the atmosphere and the crowd. But now that you're wearing the maroon and white and the M over S, what has it been like to coach as a Mississippi State coach in the ballpark with the crowd?
Man, it's been special. It's been special. You're competing in the heat of the battle, and a lot of times you don't take it all in, and then all of a sudden it seems like the game's over and you come up for air. Or there will be times when we're on offense where just the chants start happening from side to side, and just the investment in the fans and the community, how intelligent of a baseball, how intelligent of a crowd and of a baseball community it is. It's such a great place, and I think everywhere in the SEC it's hard to play on the road, but I do feel like our fans are very hospitable too. It's even with with Slade Alford coming back this weekend, I thought there was a lot of respect. There was a little bit of jiving in there, but it's just been special, man. It's just a special place. It's an incredible fan base, just very intelligent fans, and then you got some of the best barbecue in this part of the country going on down here at the same time. So it's been awesome, man. I'm fascinated by it every time we go out. Even I think this past weekend, it was maybe Friday night, we come out for BP. We're stretching. You can smell guys getting their grills started. You can smell the charcoal billowing, and there was a time there where we had to stop playing catch pregame because there's too much smoke on the field. You guys couldn't see, so you just kind of laugh, and it's just awesome. It's been awesome.
That's great. All right, one more. Nolan Stevens, a dual threat. He can pitch, he can hit. Kind of talk about his upside and his talent on the mound.
Yeah, he's our wild card. I mean, we've shuffled his role at times where you'd be the first guy out of the pen, and next thing you know, he's pitching in the 8th and 9th inning versus LSU. We've saved him, used him late games. He came out and had more of a traditional setup role earlier this past weekend. He's kind of view him more as a weapon and a wild card, and he's an incredibly talented kid and physically. We think very highly of him offensively as well, but a lot of it is just his makeup, his mentality. He's got great stuff, but it's the competitor that for a young kid we feel very confident putting him in, and of course you've seen it so far. We've got no apprehension putting him in the biggest games and the biggest minutes and moments, and he's done for the most part, especially for a freshman. He's done a pretty good job with that.
I know you're excited about coaching him. Justin Parker, Hail State pitching coach on the Out of Bounds show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Coach, we appreciate your time today. Thanks, man.
Thank you, Bo. Hail State.
Justin Parker on the Out of Bounds show, talking about the starters, the setup guys, maybe the closer, but I tell you what, he's done a hell of a job with this staff. And you got to be excited about what all you were able to see this weekend and the way that this program is trending here over the last few weeks. They're 6-6 in their first 12. They have 18 games left and some winnable series. So we'll see. Even with Dome and Bradley Lofton and Pico Khan, because of injured and trying to come back, they're still figuring it out between Steven and Gerangelo and Auger yesterday. Damn. And then Davis. So super impressed with what's going on there. Man, that was a fun show today.
That was it was intense and went quick.
With the dust up on Saturday in Starkville, and then John Calipari leaving Kentucky to go to Arkansas, and then the Jans flirtations or whatever the hell was going, leverage, whatever. Just a very, I felt like it was an emotional roller coaster weekend for SEC people, fans.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
You're playing right? You're playing baseball. You got the portal open. And then you had this weird, bizarre, I still can't explain it, and I was there. 45-minute delay at a game. I don't even know.
Like, what are you doing?
I don't know. You said it. You weren't watching it, and then you saw the number on Twitter of how many people were getting ejected, and you thought, well, this must have just been an all-out brawl.
I was kind of pumped.
And then you watched it, and you're like, what?
Ooh.
It's a nothing burger.
Why?
A nothing burger. Somebody or multiple people sat there and watched it and rewind.
I watched it twice.
For 45 minutes, they did that.
Golly.
And decided that they needed to throw out double-digit guys.
I'm with you.
There wasn't a punch thrown.
No, not one. Not a chest bump.
There was a physical play at the plate, which is called baseball. I mean, how many guys get taken out at second base on a double, on a potential double play?
They do it on purpose, and it's a known thing.
You're
It's
damn
accepted.
right they do.
It's accepted. It's
I don't
fine.
care which way it's going, whether it's short to second or second to short. So
they do. The SEC does owe some money. They are the people who sat there for 45 minutes some money. They at least owe them a voucher for a beer. Or I'm sorry,
they owe me a voucher.
Well, I mean,
I had a beer,
a couple vouchers.
I was good.
Okay, good. All right.
I had a libation or two.
I had faith in that.
Yeah,
I had good faith in that.
Billy Donovan to Kentucky. Let's start the rumor.
He needs the libation for that.
Billy Donovan to Kentucky.
What's his price tag?
Right there in the 8 to 10.
So he'd be okay. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
That's plenty of money.
No, I got a couple of seconds. What's up?
I saw on Twitter that some Kentucky fans want Don Staley now from South Carolina. They want him to switch over and be dominate in the men's too.
There you go. The Out of Bounds Show, brought to you by the Armory in Ridgeland on Lake Harbor in front of Kroger for your next firearm. Premium firearm, suppressors, optics, powered by the Armory, Lake Harbor in Ridgeland. It's a beautiful building right in front of Kroger on Lake Harbor in Ridgeland. The Armory, Lake Harbor in Ridgeland. Show is also presented by Fleetway Market and the Blue Plates at the Market Cafe in Gluckstadt today. Check them out. Fleetway Market, Market Cafe in Gluckstadt, and their amazing blue plates, pulled pork sandwiches. They've got the grab and go too, and a great selection of beers like Stella Artois and Key City and Kona Big Wave and everything else. We'll see you tomorrow. If you missed anything, hell of a show. Apple Podcast or Spotify.